Hey guys, it's TheFrXion here, or Tank12, however you call me, I don't really care. And welcome back to World of Tanks once more. We are back on the website. I don't want to spam you guys to death with videos, but these events are just coming. They're just rolling in. And it's the next tank marathon. This time it's the AltProto AMX 30. Now I think this is a bit of a weird choice because it's an AMX 30 that is a bit different from the original AMX 30 that we have in the game. And I think it's a bit weird because you cannot actually unlock the AMX 30 and the prototype anymore because both of these vehicles have been taken out. You can only get them if you have already unlocked them prior. I don't think you're able to get them anymore in the tech tree. So you either had to unlock them or yeah, you're not going to be able to get it. But today we're just going to talk about the mission marathon real fast. I don't want to spend too much time on it. I just want to talk about the time it will take and what my plans are going to be on this. I have a lot of things to do, so it's going to be a bit of a difficult journey, but I'm going to try to make one or two live streams where we are going to try to go for a certain level. I'm not sure. I'm probably not going to buy this tank. I will probably also not unlock it because I don't want to spend any real money on World of Tanks at the moment. But I want to see how far I can get by, investing a little bit of time into it. I don't want to invest all my time, but I want to invest a little bit. But before we do that, let's take a look at what we are dealing here with. So, it's called The Legend of the Hunter, and they're calling it the French Hunter. It's the AltProto AMX 30. It's a tier 8 premium medium tank for the French tech tree, and it is quite interesting. We're going to take a look at the statistics characteristics just in a moment. The event will last for about 11 days or 10 days. It will end very early on December 6th, so you have to time everything. You have to look into it and see that you prepare enough time if you want to get this tank for free. I think that if you really want a tank, well, I wouldn't go as far and try to play it to the end and get it for free because it's really difficult. You need a lot of time and it's going to make you hate the game a lot more than you could prior. It's kind of such a weird statement. But either way, if you really want to see how long it takes, go check out Quickie Baby's video. He always does a really good analysis on how long it takes, and I think he has got some really good, what do you call, tips on what you should do and what you should expect, because these marathon events are obviously kind of good and bad at the same time. But let's take a look at the tank. It's the AltProto AMX 30. You have alpha damage of 300, which is for a tier 8 medium tank quite high, or at least it is, I think, probably the new average above 300. You have 232 millimeters of pen, 263 with APCR. That is crazy. These numbers are tier 9 level, at least the pen, average pen. This is better than the T54 or about on the same level as the T54 at tier 9. You have 1,250 hit points, you have a crew of 4, and this tank goes quite fast with 65 kilometers per hour. Moving on to the firepower tab, you can see that the dispersion values are actually not the best, 0.35, so it's going to be a bit limited in longer range engagements. The aim time of 2.4 seconds is pretty, I think it's, without any equipment, it sounds pretty brutal for a tier 8 medium tank, but I think it's about on the same level as the other French tier 8 vehicles. If you put the equipment on it, it will go down probably by a bit, and the aim time will probably be better. You have 50 shells, which is quite a lot, to be fair. Reload time of 9.59 seconds per shot, so the DPM is not going to be the best. But you can probably get that lower. But you do 300 damage with a single shot. You have 11 degrees of gun depression, which is great. 15 degrees of gun elevation, which isn't that great. You have 380 meters view range, signal range is 750, that's not too important. You basically have no armor on the hull, 60 at the front, 40 on the side, 30 at the rear. It's a French tank, so you shouldn't expect a lot of armor. But your turret has 150 at the front, and that's quite interesting because you have a cupola on top, and you have like a very interesting turret design at the front. The front is very angled, and the back is very flat. So it looks to me like the Lansen from behind. If you look at it from behind, it looks like the Lansen. The tank is very interestingly angled at the front, at the side, and at the rear. So we'll have to talk about that when we see the vehicle in the game. Then also turret traverse is 38.8 degrees per second. I think all these stats look pretty decent. Everything looks decent. Nothing seems to be extremely overpowered so far. It looks like a very well-rounded tank for a medium, at least from the stats. It doesn't look too bad. It has a 680 horsepower engine with a decent specific power to weight ratio. Traverse speed is 34 degrees per second. Now that is a bit of an issue. I definitely don't like that, but that's what you can expect from French vehicles nowadays. You have 65 kilometers per hour top speed. So yeah, it looks like a very interesting addition to the game. Now, I'm not really sure if it was needed, but yeah, we always get these marathons, and to be fair, I'm really glad for players that don't have the opportunity to pick up premium tanks for credits, that they at least have the opportunity to get a discount off of it. Maybe they can get it to stage 7 and 8 and maybe get like a 80% discount. It always depends on how much they want for the vehicle in the end. But we can take a look at the stages. I think in total you have to get 250,000 base experience, which is a ton. Or you do the mastery missions. These mastery missions until stage 7 are probably easy to do. Or I think they're probably going to be a lot easier than the mastery missions at 8, 9, and 10. That's how they always have been. The last 3 stages are such a grind, where Wargaming really want you to dig in and, you know, spend your money, because they still want to get a little bit of cash out of you, while they still can give you a vehicle that has been heavily discounted. But it always depends on how and what kind of price it starts. The issue that I have is they always load up these marathon tanks with things that you don't really need, because you probably already have more than enough of that stuff, and then they calculate that on top onto the price of the vehicle, and then you have a very unrealistic price for a tier 8 medium tank. You would never pay $70 just for the tank. It is about worth maybe $40, maybe $30 if you look into the old price levels, and obviously then you can see that the stages are, it's a bit unfair how they are doing it. But either way, it's quite interesting. You also have this mastery, the other missions that you can do, where you can get this skin, which is I'm not even sure what it's called. It's Char de Castel or whatever, and yeah, I think that rounds it up. So it's another event, and there's also going to be a Black Friday discount. So we're going to talk about that in the next 1 or 2 days as well. And yeah, I'm going to be taking part in this event. I'm going to try to go as far as I can so you guys can see what is possible. I'm going to be live streaming that on YouTube. So if you're interested, just check it out. And hopefully some of you guys can end up with the AltProto AMX 30 if you want it, and hopefully get a good discount or get it for free. And if you miss out, don't worry. It's just a premium tank. It doesn't have any real life counter value. It's not important. If you have other things to do, don't waste your time on this. I also have other things to do, so it's not going to be my prime focus. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. As always, I see you guys on the next video. Until then, have a good one.